Good evening, everybody. We got about 5 minutes before we start Motivational Brown Girls Sunday night group discussion. As you can see, I'm chewing. So I'm gonna finish up my dinner so y'all can watch me chew, or y'all can just chill, keep your live cast going for about 5 minutes, and we'll be ready to get it started. I guess I could give them some music. Jennifer Hudson, something like that.
There is more to see that can never be seen, more to do that can never be done. The circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding in the
One minute countdown. Alrighty, good evening, everybody. So it's time to get started with our Sunday night discussion, and I hope everybody had a chance to look at the article um, and really digest what it said. Um, Very interesting information, so I definitely want to hurry up and get started because this was given to us by a faithful supporter. So definitely want to go ahead and start the conversation. My co-host Miss AJ is over here, and she's just gonna kind of drop out some rules and everything of how we like to conduct our forums and keep the respect level high.
Fancy me or no? I'm live on my page as well. First and foremost, no profanity towards one another. You cuss what you're saying, but not towards one another. Also respect each other's opinions. Your opinion, not everybody's going to agree with, and vice versa. So you agree to disagree. Um, don't destroy people's character. Don't go and Google and search them and be like, well, this is what your mama look like, this is what your daddy look like. Ain't none of that going on. Any violations of that, we can call you. Since we live, we'll call you out, and you can get removed.
True.
ASAP. So just saying, that's the rules. If you get with it, that's fine. If not, I don't need you watching them. Just real.
All right, everybody. So when you look at this article, and I hope that you go into the group chat and pull up the article. Today's topic is: it's time for Black people to disengage with white people while discussing race. So the question that we pose is, do you agree? Why or why not? And I guess what we'll do is we'll kind of start off by, making our own case or stating our opinions, and then we'll kind of, move forward with such. I don't know if, AJ, you want to address something, or I had a quote from the article that really stuck out to me. And in the article, this individual said, I was tired from sacrificing a few million once perfectly healthy brain cells. Reading through the comment sections of race-based web articles, thread after thread, chock full of Black folks trying to navigate oblivious whiteness. At some point, we really need to ask ourselves, why even bother? Why are we losing solid hours out of our day, wearing our fingertips numb on keyboards and touchscreens, in an attempt to explain to some dense-ass dude, bro, why all lives matter? Why all lives matters is a fucked up and functionally redundant response to Black Lives Matters. And this is simply a quote from the article. Excuse the foul language, but it was a quote from the article. So, that's an interesting question. In the beginning, when we started thinking about this motivational brown girl platform, it was such that we felt like blue lives matters, Black lives matters, all lives matters. Well, a young lady said, I don't agree with all lives matters because all lives matters is a way to simply silence the Black Lives Matters movement. I didn't think about it like that. For me, I thought about it as in, okay, so God created us all, so we're in the likeness of Him, so all lives matters. Because in my mind, I'm not thinking police lives. I'm not thinking police are trying to silence Black people from talking. I'm not thinking Black people are trying to silence white people from talking. I'm not thinking like that. But of course, it has to do collectively with what everybody thinks. So for me, this article, it has some humor to it. But what it did for me was, I feel like this. I feel like I'm not going to engage in conversation with anybody outside of my culture that I feel is going to cause an argument or cause us to have hatred towards one another. However, I do feel that the race conversations need to cease if we can't work to understand one another's cultural competence and one another's level of cultural blindness. Because the reality is, you have individuals who say, well, I see no color. Well, if you see no color, you're culturally blind. Because clearly, I may be light brown. My partner may be medium brown. We may have another guest that's dark brown. You see color. The other thing is, jokingly, I used to say, well, I used to ask my mom, well, why do they call us colored? They turn red when they're mad and they turn blue or purple when they're cold, so I don't get it. But once again, I think we can have healthy conversations, but we have to understand that white privilege exists, number one. And we, as a black race of people, have to understand that although we were oppressed, our forefathers were oppressed, we don't have to live in that shadow. We have to try to figure out how to make a way for our own. AJ?
Oh, man, I'm laughing at my comments. Anyway, I read some of the article as well, and it was very comical to me with the different hashtags that he used. I don't even know who. Did you put his name as to who it was that wrote it? Um, who is it? Did he say his name? Published by Zach Leaning. Um, he made a quote on his Facebook status last May, because we were still dealing with the whole police brutality, people dying, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was the same discussion of white people aren't getting it. So he quoted, "Dear decent white people of the interwebs, get your cousins, get your friends, get your fofo, your aunties, your great uncles, your sisters, cousins, baby mamas, auntie friends, Sally, Jesse, and Raphael. Get your neighbor, get your neighbor's neighbor, get your whole neighborhood watch. Shit, get the whole damn white delegation. Get your people. Thanks with love, Black Management." Which, being that I've seen a volume of the discussion between black people and white people and Hispanic, whoever, about Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, it's the same, pretty much the status remains the same to me now. That it's like some conversations I've seen, please get your people and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of agree with you. If I don't mind having a discussion about race, but if you're gonna mess around and start cursing me out and veering off to what the actual issue is, there's just no need to talk about it because you have your opinion in your mind already.
That's
so,
true.
I mean, for instance, everybody's been talking about it, so we're just gonna go ahead and put it out there, Kaepernick. Shout out, love my quarterback.
Whatever.
So, Kaepernick, actually sat there the national anthem, and I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna sing the song because I feel like why should I be proud of a country that's oppressing black people? That's his prerogative. That's how he feels. That's his opinion. I have seen and come across people that their argument is, he making money, so he really shouldn't say anything. I mean, he getting paid. Why is he?
What does money have to do with it?
Why are you talking crazy? Exactly. So people are making points that really isn't really discussed. It's not discussing what the issue is. You're mad because he sat down during the national anthem because of how he feels. It's freedom of speech. Last I checked, freedom of speech is just that, freedom of speech. You can agree or disagree with freedom of speech, but
that's true.
Why you getting mad or going or giving us a different argument if that's not what he's talking about? Okay, he chose to express himself by not singing the national anthem. Cool, freedom of speech. He's exercising what right he's supposed to have. Mm-hmm. So what is the problem? Oh, because you don't agree with it. If you don't agree with it, just keep going. I might not agree with what he did, but I'm not going to knock him for it.
True.
At the same time, that's what it comes down to. We're just speaking with race. You have people who either are refusing to see what's going on because it hasn't happened to them, or don't want to see what's going on because they want to stay in their bubble of safety.
True.
Or if they want to talk about what's going on, they'll talk about from an experience that, again, they have no knowledge of because of how they may feel, how they may view of everything. for a black man to walk down the street and actually be profiled, he can speak a whole lot on that particular issue versus a white guy walking down the street and nothing happens to him.
Okay.
So it kind of defeats. So if a black guy's saying, "Yeah, I've been profiled," then if a white guy comes and says, "Well, did you walk a certain way?
Mm-hmm.
Did you sit up straight in your car, or would you just walk in like this, or did you have on the right clothes?" What does that have to do with that? You know about profile, now you don't know about it. So you can have a conversation about it, but with that, your feelings just be like, okay, I don't understand, I don't agree, I'm just going to go ahead and just slide to the left with that and keep pushing. That's just where I'm at. Some people you can have a discussion and be fine with it. Others it's like, why am I even talking to you? And then you do have those people that it doesn't matter what you put up, or on your views of whatever, they still gonna be in their feelings. They still gonna say something wrong about it, or not wrong, or they will still just stand on what their belief may be on that particular subject, regardless of if it keeps coming up.
Okay. So, all right. So I guess this is gonna take me back to the conversation we had a couple of weeks ago about covert versus overt racism. So, at what point then in the conversation about whether or not we engage or disengage, and guys, please feel free to answer the question in the news feed, and we'll definitely address it. The question we threw out is, if you look at the article that we posted earlier, do you feel that as blacks we need to disengage in conversation with white people about race? And I think I want everybody to chime in, because a lot of times when we have these conversations, people feel uncomfortable. Our platform is for everybody. So we want white people, Hispanics, Indians, Asians. We want everybody to chime in and answer this question simply because I know how I feel, and nobody can change how I feel. And the way that I feel does not affect how I deal with people. It affects how I internalize things. So I say this to say, when you look at the article, how do you feel? Now, I want to address Joanne. Joanne Brown has said they need to the community question, not race. The brutality emulate what we do in our own community. How can we ask people to stop if they follow the example? All right. And so I think what she's asking is, she's talking about black on black crime. I think she's talking about black on black crime. Okay. And I think where she's coming from is, if we're hurting and killing ourselves, why would other people stop hurting us? I mean, she makes a valid point. She's making she's making a valid statement. I mean, I have to say, I watch a lot. I think about a lot, and I do kind of feel like, if I walk up to you using the N-word, can we talk about using the N-word? Okay. So if I'm saying, "What's up, my nigga? What's up, my nigga? Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga." Then if someone that doesn't look like me says it, I'm going to get mad. At one point, do I have to check myself and say, well, they're around you all the time, and you always using it, so why can't I use it? I mean, Holmes, can you speak to that?
I mean, it is a difference in the spelling. I mean...
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Okay,
I'll give you that. I'll give it to you. I'll give you that.
You're saying that when a black person said versus a white person said, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I personally,
like, what, nigga?
Yeah, I personally say when anybody said. I mean, honestly, like you said, it's spelling.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I hate the word because of the fact of where it comes from and things like that. And I'm not admitting, I hate that Now, you do have people that feel like it's comfortable. But I feel like you think it's comfortable for a black person to say it to you, you should feel comfortable as a white person to say it to you because, hey, it's a figure of speech.
All right, and so this is our you can't see her. She's behind the camera. She does not want to be visible. But this is a fellow educator, and basically she has a rule. She has a rule in her classroom, and her rule is you do not use the N word.
Yeah.
And can you tell them a little bit about the incident when the young white guy said the word and kind of how that kind of played out?
Yeah, so in my class, like I said, I have kids that comes in, and they know Miss Holmes does not like the N word. Nobody says the N word.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have a black boy came in and he was dressed white, another black guy, and he said use the N word or whatever. And the same day, I'm out in the hallway, the white kid come in and says, "What's up, my nigga?" And every black person in the classroom is ready to jump him. I walk into a classroom full of black kids versus this white guy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I'm asking what's wrong, what's going on. And they was like, he just used the word that you do not like, Miss Holmes. You didn't hear him. And I was like, no, I didn't hear him use the word because I'm out in the hallway. But what made you say that word is what I asked the kid.
Uh-huh.
And he said, you said nobody can say the word. When I walked in the classroom, he pointed two guys out. They called each other niggas, so I'm walking in like, hey, my niggas, the same way they are. I was like, but what if they walk in and call you a cracker? And he was like, but I'm not a cracker. And I was like, but they're not a nigger. And he was like, well, I used the term because the fact that they used it. And I said, and I looked at the black guys and I said, this is why I does not like the word. Because you felt like, y'all guys feel like y'all can use the word towards each other because y'all homeboys, y'all friends. But when he walked in and said it, all these guys were
all hell broke loose. Okay. So, all right, I tell you what. So we have a couple of comments to address, and then we'll get back. Okay, all right. So we'll start with AJ, and then I need to address Author Charisma. Shout out to Author Charisma, y'all. You got to check out her underground fan page because she's a great supporter of MBG and an awesome author. So we're going to shoot to AJ and let her address some of her comments, and then I'll come back and address Sarah, Lula, and Charisma and Ray in that order.
All right, I got a comment from the homeboy Sean.
Speak up a little bit.
Oh, excuse me. I have a comment from homeboy Sean who said, one comment was, well, I can't discuss race because we are all the same. That was one of his comments. And another one from John Mills, we need to disengage with conversations with ignorant white people or when the conversation goes left. Sean came back and said, problem is neither side is open-minded about the conversation.
Okay. All right, well, you know what? All right, let me check that real quick, and then I'm going to come back to the comments. All right, so now this, everybody that knows me knows I like a good debate. And I like a good argument because I will not back down. So if the conversation goes left, I can't say I'm going to run from the conversation. I think for me, if the conversation goes left, I'm going to try to de-escalate it and get it back. I'm going to try to get it back to a point where we can kind of cut it off and come to a consensus. I don't think I'm just going to cut the conversation because that's the problem. When we get to talking about real stuff, everybody want to shut up, So I don't think I would, cut the conversation, but I don't want to get too deep into that because, I get fired up in a minute. But I do want to address, hi, Sarah, I missed you guys in Danville too. I definitely want to check Lula. Lula says, if you watched the national anthem when Marvin Gaye sang it at the Lakers game, not one of the athletes placed their hand over their hearts. The rules change when it suits their agenda. Wow. Hey.
Sound like you, Mills. Oh, wow. Sound like you, Mills.
I'm not going to say hands down. I'm going to say hands up. Thanks, Lula, for that comment. Wow. I can't even comment because you made a valid point. And she also came on to say, white people hurt each other as well, but it's not reported like black crime. Now, I can, you know what? It's interesting that I'm in the area that I'm in because I will say this. Since I've been back in Richmond, I can only think of 2 serious crimes that I've seen on the news from the West End. But everything that happens on the East End, whether it's white or black, is publicized. Now, one might say that it's a class thing because if anybody knows anything about the West End of Richmond, it's very affluent. Anybody know anything about the East End of Richmond? Okay. So shout out to the East End because I work in the East End and I love the East End. But I think we have to look at classism and racism simply because if you notice, and I don't know if you guys don't agree with me, but if you notice, you see poor whites, poor blacks, and wealthy blacks in the news for crimes. But you don't really see wealthy whites in the news for crimes unless it's somebody like Bob McDonald or Joe Morrissey or somebody like that. You see what I'm saying?
I feel like that is because that's the reason because they hide everything. I feel like they're very good at like hiding stuff. Like more white people are gonna hide what's really going on because the fact that they don't want the information to get out.
Okay. But wait, do you feel like, once again, classism, do you feel like it's a money thing? Do you feel like, because this is my thing, the gotcha paper. All of y'all know what the gotcha paper is. So, you can't pay, can you pay to get your picture not to be in the gotcha paper if you get arrested?
Probably so.
I'm pretty sure.
Because now, hands up, not hands down, hands up. I know that black people are not the only ones getting DUIs. But all I see are black people for drunk in public and DUIs.
But that's when it come back to the money thing is black people gonna pay that money to keep their name out that paper?
Oh no,
That's the reason why.
I don't think so. Now we gotta address charisma. Charisma says, number one, she goes back to the issues in the black community, and she made a very, very heartfelt statement. She says, yes, we need to address our issues in the black community. However, it does not excuse outsiders mistreating us. She said, I grew up in the West and live in the East in Henrico now. Shout out. I definitely know the differences in the news coverage. And Charisma, thank you. And you provide some great insight because for me, I went to school in Richmond. So I was always downtown Richmond on VCU campus. So you know, you see everything there. And now that I'm back, I have the opportunity to live in Churchill, and now I live downtown. So it's like I haven't lived on the East End, and I haven't lived. So, you know, I can't really say a lot. I can only say what I see. And see, that's the other thing. We see this stuff on the news, but I feel like this. People judge what they see on the news, but they don't know it firsthand. And if you don't know firsthand, you can't speak on it. I mean, well, what do you think?
That's just what I said in the beginning. It's like you want to make a comment on something you know nothing about. So you really can't give an argument. You just talking to be talking because you want to be heard.
Okay. Now,
like I said, like if the discussion is racial profiling and somebody says, I've been racial profiled and gave an example, and then somebody's like, well, I never been racial profiled, but did you do this, did you do that, did you do this, did you do that? What does that have to do with anything? Either you've been there or you haven't. Like, why are you talking about something that you have no valid reason to talk about?
Okay.
Or why even give information about something and it's to the left? Like, people argue about Fox News.
True.
And quote Fox News to death. And we all know Fox News ain't right. So why would you quote that to make even more of an argument just so you can be heard?
Okay.
If you learn about it, at least try to get people's sides to get a better understanding of the subject versus just going in on it and making a comment and then people drag you on social media and you get mad.
Okay, so let me tell you. So definitely we want to make sure that we are calling you out and making sure we address your comments. Now, Joanne Brown came back and said, a person in authority told me they've been having problems with heroin and crack in the West End schools. recently. Have we heard about that? Nope. Have you heard anything about that?
I heard about, not in the schools, but I heard the rise of heroin in the 7-5 due to a lot of deaths in Walmart.
Oh, okay.
The people that are getting caught in Walmart are white people who are addicted to heroin.
Okay.
It's not black, it's white.
Okay. Okay.
And as far as, of course, asset protection or whatever you may call it is in close relationship with the police. So the police have also said yes, it's a rise on the heroin, but it's not blacks, it's the white people that have the addiction on the heroin, or that's who they're at least they're picking up. They have that problem. I didn't hear nothing about the West One, like I said, as far as stealing. That's who's being caught.
Okay. All right. So let me ask y'all this, and this is for you guys, and I want everybody that's watching to respond to this. Where did crack come from? How did crack get into the black communities? We're not going to answer. We want you guys to comment.
If y'all seen American Gangster, the BET show, hint, hint, but hint, hint, if y'all watch that.
I mean, I'm serious. Let's talk about where crack came from. Because we know that it's a form of cocaine. But where did it come from? Because clearly it's not cocaine.
Real quick, somebody commented, Sean again said, race comes up when it's normally something in the public eye. Otherwise, the average American is not going to really get in a race discussion if you don't talk out loud.
Okay, so look, this is interesting. We have on 2 different live feeds, Joanne Brown said the government and Darnell Miner said the government. The government. All right, so this is my thing. So, all right, mandatory minimums. Let's talk about mandatory minimums. Definitely institutionalized racism, right? So, I have this 18-year-old guy with a couple of dime bags of weed, and I pick him up, right? Where did he get the weed from? But where did his man? So he got a little. He got all right. So then he has about 3 rocks. Where he get the rocks from?
Oh, Felipe, down the street.
Okay, so if Felipe
apartment is decked out though. You wouldn't
think exactly. So
Felipe, you know what I'm saying, live like that.
So my point is, you got tier 3, 2, and 1.
Oh, comment real quick. From John Mills, Reaganomics, let the crack come in.
Okay.
Talking about President Reagan.
All right, and you know what? That aligns. Well, we have a couple of people because that aligns with what Charisma said. She said, yes, I was about to say that. The government has dumped drugs and financed drug dealers for years. Al Capone. So, you know, I mean, I agree with you guys. Now I'm agreeing with you guys. Now, Lula says it was put there when the government tried to destroy the Black Panthers. This was part of Bill Clinton's plan.
Bill Clinton's plan?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the mass incarceration?
Mandatory minimum.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So, all right, let's take it back because we got a couple of things being thrown out there and great things. Thank y'all for the interaction. But let me get back to the levels of how the drugs got here and everything. So we all know it came from the government. And I used to always say, well, wait a minute. Why are we getting locked up for drugs when we don't have near a jet, near a boat, near a plane to get anything?
We know now.
To get anything in here. So will we ever get to the point where we can start addressing that and say, hold up. While I understand this young man is selling drugs at the street level, but how did not he get the drugs? How did his connect get the drugs? Because I think the biggest issue is that while I'm not saying we don't need to punish people, but I think we need to start from the top down. Because the reality is you lock up the little man, but it's 1,000 little men, but it's only about 10 big men. And I'm just using those numbers figuratively.
Well, I get from the top down, but the reason they hit the bottom, because you can look at it from two perspectives. You can look at it from drug neighborhoods for depopulation purposes.
Okay.
Or for the conspiracy theorists out there, you can put it in. You throw that perspective, and you also say the kingpins don't get hit because they're constantly taking out the minions, so to speak, and kingpins like, okay, 2-3 my guys gonna get locked up, or you're gonna say something, they're not gonna say something, but I can get 10-15 more because they want this fast change. So
okay.
It doesn't matter how many you lock up of those that's pushing it. I can get just as much more to push it again. I'm not gonna get caught up because I'm up here. My hands ain't getting dirty per se because the people who sell it hands get dirty.
All right, so Amber, tell me this. So, from your perspective, because you're on the inside, how many guys of the and I mean, you can give me a percentage of the population of and I'm gonna say the two institutions that you know are somewhat affiliated with. How many guys are locked up because of drugs?
Oh my gosh! Between the two institutions, a lot of them are under the old law.
Mm-hmm.
The law of 20 plus.
Okay.
From the 90s.
Okay.
So a lot of those guys are either coming up on their 20 to get released or not even get released at all because they got hit extremely hard with the mandatory sentencing. So about half, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe half. Because there is a lot of guys in there that are hitting their 40s that have been locked up since in the 90s. So it's about half of them in there, and a lot of them are not coming out. And they're fighting the difference between the old law and the new law, and they're not getting cut any slack. The parole is gone, so to speak. So they keep fighting for that because they might have had a couple bags, a couple grams or whatever, and they got hit with that mandatory so hard.
Okay.
And that's not even adding gun, possible robbery in there, kidnapping, not necessarily kidnapping, but whoever was involved in that crime the crime would constitute as a kidnap, which is even more time. So not adding those things, just drugs by itself, they was getting hit with 10-15.
Okay, so I guess, all right, 50%. And AJ works between two of probably the largest institutions, right? Don't they house two of the largest institutions in Virginia, state institutions that house our individuals in corrections. And so she's saying about 50% of each facility is probably drug related. Yet, you still got individuals out here molesting and raping, but you got 50% of people locked up really for weed that they're legalizing in certain states where certain people use it and love it. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna take you back, and then I'm gonna address some of these comments. But I'm gonna tell you, it takes me back to, I always think about doctors and lawyers. They have the most stressful jobs. And I will never forget when I had surgery that morning. The doctor told my mother that he had been in surgery for 18 hours before he did me. And my mama said, "And you getting ready to cut my daughter?" And he said, "I'm okay." And his eyes were so buck wild. I said, "Oh, he's skied up." But guess what? Doctors and lawyers got access to some good stuff. They got access to stuff that's not gonna mess their brain up.
You know what though? What you have to think about is they're not gonna do nothing crazy out here for as ones that not. You got, like you said, the 50% rise. Probably the majority of that 50% did something stupid
to get caught. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Just that they got hit with a drug charge.
Okay.
Whether it be marijuana, cocaine, whatever. They get hit with intent to distribute. in addition to gun, which is automatic 5.
True.
And then they'll add the robbery part or abuse of a firearm or something else extra. You know, so they had just with the drug charge alone, it was an automatic like 10.
Yeah.
And then other stuff added up like you said.
All right, we got go ahead.
You said the kingpins about the whole kingpin thing. You know, I always sit like this, and I always have a guy that told me that, say he's a kingpin. He never touches what's going on out there. So why should he get caught?
Yep, that's true. Well,
Why
you're right.
should he get caught? Only thing he touches is the money. He don't touch cash. They have places to put it in banks. And he goes to different banks and pick up what they put in.
Right.
He don't touch nothing. So why should he get caught? He's not the one distributing. He didn't put no goods, so they had to ask themselves. And all they thought about was quick money. He said he started at the bottom, and he worked himself up. He said because he realized that he did not want to be the one selling it because of him going to jail. So he worked himself up to become kingpin. And he said, no, he don't touch nothing. He sit back, but then he also said a kingpin is a smart man.
Yep.
Well, of course. Well, I don't care. I'm gonna tell you something. This is my thing. I think the majority of top dollar drug dealers are smart anyway. Now I'm gonna keep it real, like
Business minded.
exactly. But see, and that's why I tell these young boys, look, all y'all gotta do is really go get some letters behind your name, and you will be good. Because they are smart. But then they get a little stupid, when they get out here and then they want to go buy Glocks and assault rifles. But let me address the comments, because it is about you guys. It's not about us. It's about you guys, and we appreciate you tuning in. Chad Martin says, if we know the big differences of prison time between crack and cocaine, if we know they flood our streets with crack and also make money off us with the prison pipeline system, at what point do we stop falling into the trap? Chad, thank you for those comments. And that takes, and you know what, Chad, that takes us back to the beginning of the conversation. I know you just chimed in. But earlier we were talking about disengaging in conversations. Should black people stop engaging in conversations with white people about race? And, we had a myriad of opinions regarding that. But what one person said, or a couple of people said, was that we have to stop mistreating ourselves first. And so I think that speaks to what you said. At what point do we stop falling into the trap? At what point do we say Black Lives Matter amongst ourselves?
Real quick, because I have a bunch of comments.
Okay, all right.
All right, Gyrlz, crack came from dealers cooking up, I guess supposed to be, and cutting cocaine to maximize their profits, making teachers back in the 80s. Cocaine was a rich man's high. It was used by doctors, lawyers. That goes back to what you said about being
Agree. I agree.
Cooked it gave an addictive rush. Blacks didn't have the means to import drugs to the country. Who controls the borders and ports? There is your answer.
Okay.
Gyrlz again, it took off in the black communities because it's cheap to buy and very profitable to sell, which is, and I have been told, they add a little a formula.
They lace it. Just say the word. They lace
formula,
it.
Not lace it, but formula is used to, when crack was rising again.
Okay.
Formula was being stolen out of Walmart too.
Okay.
The government is hard on drugs because they can't tax the money. Uncle Sam don't play about that dollar. It's just like alcohol in the Prohibition days. It was an untaxed income. They legalized it. This is what they are doing with weed. So that was a few comments that was said about the drug topic we was just on. If the government is going, so pretty much what he's saying is the government is going to be in a feelings because their hands are in it for the money purposes.
Okay.
So we can sell these illegal drugs. Y'all making money, we not. We're going to put you in jail for 15, 20, 25, 30 years and hit you real hard.
Okay.
But if we legalize it and put some restrictions on it and get some tax, hit you with the tax, you get paid. Y'all good. We'll just put a little DUI here and there. They're gonna hit you too hard. We pay We put a little label on it saying, make sure you do it in moderation, you don't go overboard. So that's what you're gonna do for everything else. When you legalize weed, don't hit it 5 times a day because you get crazy. I mean, what you gonna do? But that was just pretty much the comment on my side as far as the drugs.
Well, hold on 1 second, and then our special guest is in the house again tonight, so we definitely want to acknowledge her. But Darnell says, I hate to say it, but us coming together as one will not happen because of the crab mentality of a lot of black people have. And before I address your comment, I gotta say shout out to Danville. I see my big bro just chimed in, so shout out to you, Mike. I hope you will chime in on this conversation because I know that you are still in Danville and I know you're doing your thing, but I know sometimes it get hard. So definitely chime in. Once again, everybody that's on, the topic of conversation for tonight is it time for blacks to disengage in conversation with whites? Is it time for blacks to disengage in conversation with whites about race? So let's see here. Going back to what Darnell said, Darnell, you're exactly right. We've been talking about Black Wall Street. And if y'all don't know about Black Wall Street, go back and look up Toledo, Ohio in the 1920s. We had money, guys. We had our own Wall Street. But because of what Darnell said...
Shout out to Justin Williams, because she loved, ever since he done put that mess out there, she loved talking about the Black Wall Street.
But it's real, though. But it's real. Like, it's real. And the whole thing is, we can't get back to that because as soon as we get a position of authority or a position of power, we think we've made it. We will never arrive, guys.
That goes back to, because you know me, I like music and movies. So the whole crab mentality and what you're just speaking about is that, it reminds me of, what is the movie? Gyrlz. And Mel, shout out to you because I know, he know about it. When they seen, DMX and Nas character, they seen him living life or whatever he be and dude with the banana, he eating, he like, oh look at them and all that stuff. I don't like that. Y'all. Somebody can drop a dime on me. Why? Why can't you just link up or network, so to speak, and just be like, okay, so what you doing that I'm doing that I can't? Let's help each other out, especially if you're in the same big drug business. Okay, if I got a cheaper connect, why can't I hook you up? My cheaper connect and we all can profit on the same
But see,
thing.
when you say that goes to show you about us black and different from us the whites. Because if it was 2 white guys, they
can hate each other, but they gonna work together to make sure that they build the empire.
They can hate what they both do. They can hate that this man was on my corner then.
That's right.
That this man was here on my timeline, standing on my side, making my money. But he's going to show that man the route to get him to be rich.
That's right.
That's right. Kill each other, knock each other down, cuss each other out, put us down, and do everything we can to knock him down instead of showing him that same exact route that I discovered to make me rich. That's what, it's not just drug, with any job. Any job, any education.
That's true. Well, that's true. But you know what? Now let me because like I said, we want to make it about our viewers. Because we can go all day. Joanne Brown said it's the Willie Lynch mindset. Ooh. How many of you guys have heard the Willie Lynch speech? If you haven't heard it, I'm gonna find it for you or read it, because I'm gonna tell you. When I heard the Willie Lynch speech, I said years ago. And we living it out today. We living it out today.
And the question comes in, okay, we know about who do know about the Willie Lynch. You look that up, we probably read that real quick. And who knows about that? Who knows about the different methods that was used during slavery time that has been passed down for generations. At what point do you, as an individual, be like, let me wake my own self up and my own mentality and stop with the foolishness? Like, when is that? Because it has to be an individual thing before it becomes a group thing.
AJ, what you just said, Chad said a few minutes ago. Chad says every time we frame questions or statements about white people, we give them the power. The real issue is that we need to start talking to each other and come together and really say Black Lives Matter. It goes back to what Charisma said earlier, and it goes back to Joanne Brown. Once again, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter simply because we are people, and it matters because we are a strong people. And that's the other thing, guys. Y'all know I get on my civil rights activism like I was born in the 1940s and marched in the 60s.
Willie Lynch is kind of long because he breaks.
Oh, it is. That's why I pulled it up, but yeah, we can pull some parts out of it.
Breaks down making the slaves.
Yeah, he goes into it.
And mind you, and who don't know, Willie Lynch was a well-known slave owner that came, or that I think he did come. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but he came to Virginia or wrote because Virginia was having issues controlling slaves, so to speak, or somebody was seeking out how to control.
Because we strong people.
And so he breaks it down, how to make a slave, breaks down the male, the female, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, the marriage, Negro marriage.
Okay.
So
control language, because again, we were speaking which you couldn't understand.
So all right, so this is where we are.
That's why you have Petra now.
So this is where we are. So and you know, I can speak to you know, shout out to you, Chad, because I know that down there in our area that you know, Richmond, I mean the Marshall, Danville, Roanoke areas, I know you trying your hardest to work some things out, and I commend you for that, because I know that as for me, you have a different swag appeal. And
first of all, let me address you, Sean. We're not being biased, because just like you talking to death, other people on her page, both pages actually, her page and
AJ is addressing some of her viewers because they're getting a little perturbed.
These are guys as well, so don't come over here and try, sir.
But I definitely want to say that we are about action, and we got about 13 minutes left. And really, we got about 8 minutes left because we need to let you guys know how you can hear us and see us live on the radio tomorrow night. But at this point, now we've talked about a lot. I need everybody to chime in with your comments. What is one thing that you can do? You can do individually to stimulate either empowerment or change in what we're enduring and facing right now. And we're gonna kind of give you a minute. We're gonna kind of be quiet for a minute to really let you and Lord, I blocked somebody. I gotta get her back to really give you an opportunity to think about what you can do while I try to figure out. Because I was, her comment was up.
That's fine, man. I'll see you later.
Holmes, what do you think you can do? And I mean, you're in a unique situation, so.
It just.
I blocked her by accident. She gonna kill me.
I just feel like I'm still searching for what can I do.
Okay, and that's okay.
Because when you think you figure something out to do, it's like it backfires, or
preach.
You know, it
Preach
backfires, and then it doesn't really, help the situation. So I'm in the part now thinking, and I'm still thinking about what can I do, what can make that change.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. So, y'all, this has been I'm gonna tell you the truth. This has been one awesome conversation. Like I'm excited because you guys are really chiming in. Really chiming in. So I'm excited. And Lula, I hope I can get you back because I lost you by accident. But hopefully you're back. So for me, and this is what I feel I can do. I feel we can continue to grow motivational brown girls. That's what I feel we can do. I feel we can continue to grow this platform. And I gotta up. Charisma took the words right out of my mouth. We can continue to support black businesses, organizations, and entities. Buy black, spread positive black news. Charisma, you are awesome because you took the words right out of my mouth. That's where we were going. Well, that's where I was going with our platform. So thank you. But once again, I just feel like, you're right. Like, we got to do something. And it's going to start with supporting one another. We got to keep the money in our communities. Straight up.
I think it'll work out fine if us black people with business show respect to us black people that are buying from them.
That's true too.
That's a whole different discussion.
It is. That might be next week's discussion. So all business owners chime in because we need to understand why y'all charging us $35 for plus sizes and $20 for skinny sizes. Hashtag bring it back. But I'm passionate about it. Y'all know I'm passionate about it. But I'm excited. I'm excited because we have power, guys. Number one, we gotta vote. We gotta stop saying our voices are not heard. You don't know if your voice heard if you don't get up and vote. Chad said Willie Lynch gave us the answer to our own question in his letter. He said the black woman is the key for breaking the family. So if she is the key to breaking the family,
Chad, free me, please.
she is the key to empowering the family.
Chad,
Chad, AJ, my co-host said, please friend her.
You is intelligent. You is smart.
He really is.
That's true. We can make or break a man. And for the I know because I'm just gonna say it because I'm a low key conspiracy theorist. Black women, obviously, if we the key to empower and make grow, then we need to stop letting the white man government intervene as far as his welfare and the children and his child support and all that.
So it looks like next week we're going to be talking about entitlement in the system. So all of y'all get ready because we're going to talk about the welfare system. And I have to say, I am liberal on some things, I'm moderate on some things, and I'm conservative on other things. And when it comes to this system, I'm conservative. And I'm going to tell you once again, like y'all said earlier, people go for what suits their case. I'm conservative about the system because it does not suit my case. It is no way in the world that I should not be able to get food stamps when I pay about $1,200 just to put a roof over my head, not include nothing else, and I can't get food stamps, and Uncle Sam taxed me because I don't have 5 kids.
Exactly.
So,
and that goes back to one of my favorite rappers right now, Kendrick Lamar, during his poem or his spoken word called "For Free." It's the same thing. What he says in the song "For Free," and the girl at the end says, "I'm gonna get my Uncle Sam to fuck you up, nigga. You ain't no king." It's the same mentality I was just talking about.
Okay.
If Willie Lynch can say the black woman is the key to uplifting, you got to destroy her. Reverse that thing.
Yeah.
Because
All right, ladies.
always triggered.
All right, ladies. Y'all see what Chad said. Willie Lynch said it though. The same white man that fixed the system so it would be what it is today and fixed our minds. He even said it. We're the key. We're the key. Which takes us back to women in the church, and we ain't gonna even go there because if we the key, then hey, I need to go to my home church and tell them we the key. But staying on topic, Margaretta Driver said, this is a hard question to answer. But the real answer is to educate parents, to make children aware of the effect of not having an education, selling drugs, disrespecting others, instigating hatred, violence, and any other form of negativity. No matter what, everything starts with the children. And you know what? I agree. What Whitney Houston said, she believes the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. And that's the thing, guys. We are the children. We're still the children. Because if you really think about it, we came from a generation of strong people.
I know I did. My mama was born during when the South was still segregated. She went to a segregated school. So
I know with Margaretta reaching out, Margaretta went to, you remember a couple of weeks ago, she told the story about the KKK cross burning and how she witnessed that, and it traumatized her. But for her, she's, I'm gonna say she's a seasoned adult now. And when she tells that story, you can almost see the fear and trembling in her body. And she's probably 50 years removed from it now. But you can see the fear and trembling. Now think about it, y'all. What if we saw a cross burning outside right now? I don't know about y'all, but I think I'll pick up every glass and plate I got in here and throw it. But see, that's why, and I believe in this, that's why we weren't born back then. Because just think about it. If we were in the form that we're in now, if we were born back then, y'all, we would have got killed. We would have got lynched. We would have got drugged behind the truck. When I look at older people, and y'all, we're supposed to close out at 7, but if y'all still want to rap, we will rap with y'all until it says 0 viewers. Because this is real. I wanted to, give some, because we supporting black entities, but I wanted to show some love to Twas After Dark on Legacy Internet Radio. But, if you guys are really feeling this, I mean, we definitely want to talk about that, because I'm just saying, I think about this stuff, y'all. I think about it. They still burning crosses, y'all. Still burning crosses. It's real. And I'm going to tell you, this Confederate flag issue, y'all can say what you want to. They burning them crosses too.
I see what you said, but what do you do when you see a black person
with a Confederate flag?
Confederate flag.
Well, y'all, and I know my brother isn't viewing. My brother isn't viewing, but I'm pretty sure my brother probably would ride around with a Confederate flag because he's the biggest redneck I know. But okay. At first it made me mad, but now I like it. And you know why I like the Confederate flag? Because how many losers walk around celebrating their loss?
That's how you looking at it? As a loss?
They didn't win. The Unions, this is how I feel about it. The Union still won, regardless. Because if the Union hadn't won, we wouldn't have the United States. Although we have the issues that we have. See, this is where it goes back to. The way I make peace with it is that when they fly their flag, I say, you celebrating the loss? You see what I'm saying? So that I don't drive myself crazy. Because I get fired up. When it first happened, I was pissed. All that flag. But then I said, wait a minute. What idiot gonna celebrate a loss? I know y'all play sports. I ain't never celebrate no loss in softball. Or if I struck out. I don't celebrate that. But I know it symbolizes slavery and, the pain and stuff. I get that. But still, you say loss.
And I told you, it's like when I see a white person around, like you just said, certain loss, whatever. Cool, but when I see somebody true of my color, my skin tone,
they lost, honey.
Running around.
They lost in a world of sin.
Let me flip that. Because there was some folk that was fighting on the side to keep slavery.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, true.
True.
Just to flip it. Because not everybody was with it. If you want to believe, not everybody was with it.
Okay.
We had to come to the realization for real, or since we're, you know, a platform of different perspectives and being open-minded,
Mm-hmm.
we have to come to a reality of like, okay, yeah, it was some people that fought with the Union or back in the day fought with the British to try to enslave, try to, you know, be as one and have your own thing. And it was some people that was, mine was like, that's to treat me good. Why would I want to leave this right here? I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight for Master and them house. It's my house too. I don't really remember where I came from anymore, so I'm gonna fight with that too.
Well, you know what now, AJ, I can speak to that, but I can speak to it firsthand, and let me tell you, because you know one thing about me, you know I'm an open book. I tell anybody, I talk about my family. So if I talk about my family, you know I talk about you. And my dad was a staunch yes or no, sir. My dad, you know, he was in the military, came back from the military, he was the first manufacturer for a company called Health Techs. And so after he retired from that, he went to work on the farm that the people that his daddy and his daddy's daddy worked for years ago, that kids still had the farm. My dad went to work on that farm. And I'm going to tell you the truth. My daddy probably could be a millionaire because he knew the business. He grew up in the business. But because he was the type of person that you don't buck the white man and you do what he say do and you are loyal to him, you know, my daddy got hurt on that farm. And you know, I tell y'all all the time, my dad had Alzheimer's before he died. But what I didn't tell y'all was that one of the cows got off the trailer. And one of those cows kicked that metal gate. And that metal gate caught my daddy in his temple. And about a month later, that's when he had a stroke while he was driving the truck, and didn't tell my mom until maybe a couple of months later down the line when he had to go to the doctor. And then he told the doctor, my son drove the tractor trailer. My brother won't about 6, I was 14. So my brother probably was like 18 then. Told the doctor, my son been driving the tractor trailer. Because it's funny now. It won't funny then, but he said, because I went blind, I could not see. He was saying he had a stroke, you know, his vision went out. And so I say that to say, see, when I come with these conspiracies and this passion, it's because although I didn't live through the movement primarily, but because I was born to parents who were born before the movement, way before. See, my parents were adults during the movement. They weren't kids. See, my mom was on her knees scrubbing white people's floors, and she raised their kids to the point now that back home in my hometown of Danville, Virginia, when we go to these big events, people hugging her and kissing her, and I'm like, Mom, how you know them? Well, I raised his daddy. What? Well, Mama, how you know all this stuff about doctors and how you know all this stuff? Oh, I worked for such and such doctor and he wanted me to go to nursing school, but I just didn't want to go. You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all, this thing is real. It touches me in so many ways because I was mad for a long time. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I was mad for a long time because I said if my daddy wasn't working for them white people, then my daddy would still be here. Because that gate wouldn't have hit him and he wouldn't have had those strokes. And guess what? My mama said, Bo, you need to sue. Do you think he sued? No. Because you don't do that. You don't do that. That's not what you do. That's not how you act. You worship the ground they walk on. And I don't want anybody to think that this is a black or white forum by any means. That's what I don't want you to think. What I want you to understand is that this thing is real. You know, we told you in the beginning that this is Motivational Brown Girls and it's real conversations. So I don't ever want you to feel like, you know, we're bashing anybody. I need you to understand that what we're doing is trying to shed light and shine light on what's really going on in the world. Y'all, there's some crazy things going on. And if you guys don't reach out and really start to figure out what we need to do and how we gonna do it and help us do it, we gonna all be messed up. We're gonna be messed up. We gotta work. And we gotta work together. That's the whole thing. We gotta work together. You know, I'm gonna go back real quick because I want to make sure I address Chad, and then we're gonna try to sign out by about 7:15. When you look at black unemployment, you see that black unemployment is typically twice as high as white unemployment. Watkins said. Ask yourself this: why is it we give away 1.1 trillion in spending power when that 1.1 trillion could, according to most economists, create 12.2 million jobs in the black community? He added, so the point of all this, the reason I'm telling you all of this, is because you have to understand one important fundamental fact. Your money is your power, and you cannot give your power away. That's powerful. It came from an article.
Oh, Chad posted it?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's powerful.
We go together, Chad. We go together. I'm just letting you know that right now. Me and you is boyfriend, girlfriend. Thanks.
That's powerful. I mean, going back to the question. Let's go back to the question again. When is it, or why is it time? Why is it time for blacks to disengage in conversation with whites about race? And make sure you started. No. This is a question. Go back to the quote.
If you can, put it in the chat.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the quote from earlier. And like my co-host said, matter of fact, I'm gonna post the quote in the comments. But it's so funny because the beginning of the article says, "Dear decent white people on the interwebs, get your cousins, get your friends, get your faux folk, your aunties, your great grand uncles, your sister's cousin, baby mama's auntie, friend Sally, Jesse, and Raphael. Get your neighbor. Get your neighbor's neighbor. Get your whole neighborhood watch. Shit. Get the whole damn white delegation. Get your people. Thanks with love, Black Management." Now, this is the quote that's on the article that I listed for you guys earlier. And just think about that thing. Just think about that thing. Like, is it time? Do you think it's time that we stop engaging in conversation with whites about race? But what about when I add this? Do you think it's time we start engaging in conversation with each other about race and how we can become a powerhouse?
I can agree with that. We do need to talk to each other more. We need to talk to each other. We need to talk to each other and be open about what it is with each other and correct each other. That way, when we come together as a force, it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Like, again, I reference movies and music. So I think about Malcolm X with Denzel Washington. How Denzel Washington walked through the streets all the way down to the hospital to make sure that man had got some care. Got beat up by the, and what the policeman say? That one man has too much power. Something needs to be done. I'm not quoting it right, but pretty much that's the gist of the conversation. That needs to be what we that's what they need to see from us. We should be able to come together as one and make sure we are straight as far as our own people.
Okay.
And for somebody to be like, man, they together. I mean, wow, they got a lot of power. And it's probably gonna come back up again. Oh, they look like a hate group. Da, da, da. It was the same way with the Black Panthers. Black Panthers was trying to be for us, but we kept getting killed so bad. What was wrong with us being armed? Which y'all could be armed with no problem.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just need to bring that back. At one point in time, we were all together. And again, you still had those folk that still had that slave mentality of, well, I'm just gonna do right by them and you know, mosey on down the road and not say nothing to them, put my head down and all that stuff. And then you have others like, no, forget all that. It's time, we're tired of being oppressed, let's come together and do something. And at one point in time, we were coming together as one people, but you get tired when your heroes that are on the front line keep getting killed. You kind of start getting discouraged and you like, forget it.
That's true. That's true.
So, despite those that are getting killed for us, by fighting for us and with us, you still have to keep going.
I agree.
You still have to keep going. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you have your Martin Luther Kings, your Malcolm X's, your Sandras, your Corys, your Landros, Trayvons, everybody. It doesn't matter how many get killed because of the cause. You still have to come together because their mentality is, if I can beat y'all and kill enough of y'all gonna have to anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? And I mean, to be honest with you, you know when people keep talking about black on black crime, as long as we killing each other, we helping them kill. We helping them kill us off. Because I mean, we killing each other so much, you know. And then once again, it doesn't make it right, but you know, at the end of the day, we gotta really be like, look, this is what we did. This is what we did, you know. All right, y'all. It's been an awesome evening. I'm gonna let my co-host give her closing remarks. I'll chime back in and then we're gonna sign off. But thanks to everybody for participating. This has been a great evening. Like normally we start cutting off at 6:50, but y'all had us going tonight and we love it. Brian, you just signed in, but everybody's signing in.
Ain't that something?
And we're signing off, but you go back and listen. But let me let AJ give her closing remarks. I'll come back and then we'll give you some good information.
Again, thank you all for participating, especially to our special guest as well. You know, she don't want to be seen. She cute and everything, but she don't want to be seen. That's fine. Shout out to everybody who chimed in. On my end, shout out to John Mills, Sean Ferguson. That was pretty much the most that was talking for real. John Mills, Sean Ferguson. Shout out to Mika for tuning in. Emmanuel. Jay, Nicole, Mike, Nikita, Claude, Nikita and Maurice, sorry, I didn't include both y'all. Thank you all for tuning in on this very neat discussion. My 5 cents on this, because the 2 cents don't count. My 5 cents is good made up. I think on my end, if I see the conversation going left with a white person as far as race, I'm just gonna cut it. I think the conversation needs to be had. It's always gonna be had. Just like I feel like the need for slavery history needs to keep repeating itself because I'm a big history head. I don't care that you may feel some type of way. I'm tired of slavery, da da da. It still needs. You don't hear you saying you're tired of seeing Holocaust. So keep it going because not everybody knows and not everybody is aware, and some people are oblivious. But if you want somebody about